Well, McKinley Dixon, what a fun little circle this moment is right here for me. For those of you who are unaware, I have concluded a series on my channel that I called Bob's Underground Artist Gauntlet, or the BOAG, as I so love to refer to it as. The whole concept of that was to go through, find songs from artists who are essentially underground. Some of these artists that we've highlighted on that stream. It was a live stream where I would pick 2 songs for 5 artists for 10 songs total, play them all on the stream. The people there would vote on them, which one they like more, etc. And just try to get this music out to an audience. And there were people we've highlighted on that stream that had literally 50 monthly listeners, 25 listeners, 100 listeners, right? One of those artists last year was McKinley Dixon. And the BOAG itself, well, I think the idea was good and the intention was certainly good. I think the idea itself was a little too big for a channel that's as small as mine. Like, I don't really have that much of a reach. I think overall the channel is doing well. I just don't have a massive audience, right? And there's a lot of work that went into the BOAG in terms of just going through message after message and listening to all these songs. It took a lot of time. And so because of the workload and because the goal of bringing an audience to these artists that deserve an audience wasn't really happening, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna wind this down and back off for a bit, and maybe I could reevaluate and still figure out a way to do something for artists who are making great music, just haven't reached an audience yet. And as all this was happening, Anthony Fantano, the Needle Drop, I'm sure plenty of you know who he is, a massive channel, does an album review for McKinley Dixon. And it was just this funny little circle. Now, I want to make sure everybody understands, I'm not trying to like claim that I knew McKinley Dixon before he did. No, I'm not saying that at all. Anthony, he's probably been a fan for longer than I've known him anyway, right? I did not watch the review that Anthony Fantano did. I know he gave it a pretty high score. He really liked this album. But it was just a funny little circle, right? Starting here, trying to do this stream, trying to bring exposure to artists and not really achieving that, and then seeing a massive channel touch on one of the artists I'm familiar with through this little stream idea. And so I don't really know what else to say other than it's just kind of a neat moment. And I had a couple of people in Discord saying, Bob, you should check out this album, this McKinley Dixon album, which is called Beloved Paradise Jazz. It's 10 tracks, it's 29 minutes. It would be a cool little way to just kind of do a send-off for the BOAG and what the idea of the BOAG was, and really, celebrate one of these smaller artists who's doing really well in terms of making music. Now, McKinley Dixon, I don't know much about him. He's out of, I think, Richmond, Virginia, I think is what his Spotify thing says. What's funny is I'm pulling up the lyrics for the track. Fortunately, the lyrics are here. I think there's one tab that says, the story so far is it has missing lyrics. So this one might be incomplete on Genius. But I'm pulling up the track list and I'm like, oh shit, I already know 2 of these songs. Sun I Rise, which is track 2. This is a great one. I really like that one. And then Tyler Forever, which is track 6. Because he released those 2 songs as a quick little EP, probably in preparation for this or while preparing this, making this album. Anyway, just fun, right? So nobody has really asked for this. I'm sure most of you don't even know who McKinley Dixon is. You've never heard his music, whatever, right? I'm just going to check it out for fun. It's kind of a bonus video. It's Sunday morning. It's a short little ride. There you go. So with all that said, let's drop into track 1. It's called Hanif Reads Toni, featuring Hanif. And here we go. McKinley Dixon. The album again is Beloved Paradise Jazz. And if you just search McKinley Dixon, you'll see it on Spotify. All right, track 1, Hanif Reads Toni.
I'm crazy about this city. Daylight slants like a razor cutting the buildings in half. In the top half, I see looking faces, and it's not easy to tell which are people, which the work of stonemasons.
Oh, wow.
Below is a shadow where any blasé thing takes place. Clarinets and lovemaking, fists and the voices of sorrowful women.
Huh.
A city like this one makes me dream tall and feel in on things. Hep, it's a bright steel rocking above the shade below that does it. when I look over strips of green grass lining the river, at church steeples and into the cream and copper halls of apartment buildings, I'm strong. Alone, yes, but top-notch and indestructible. Like the city in 1926, when all the wars are over and there will never be another one. The people down there in the shadow are happy about that. At last, everything's ahead. The smart ones say so, and people listening to them and reading what they write down agree. Here comes the new. Look out. There goes the sad stuff, the bad stuff, the things nobody could help stuff. The way everybody was then and there, forget that. History is over. You all and everything's ahead at last. In halls and offices, people are sitting around thinking future thoughts about projects and bridges and fast-clicking trains underneath. The AMP hires a colored
Interesting.
big-legged women with pink kitty tongues roll money into green tubes for later on. Then they laugh and put their arms around each other. Regular people corner thieves in alleys for quick retribution, and if he is stupid and has robbed wrong, thieves corner him too. Hoodlums hand out goodies, do their best to stay interesting, and since they are being watched for excitement, they pay attention to their clothes and the carving out of insults. No one wants to be an emergency at Harlem Hospital, but if the Negro surgeon is visiting, pride cuts down the pain.
Pride
All
cuts
the
down.
hair of the first class of colored nurses was declared unseemly for the official Bellevue nurses cap. There are 35 of them now, all dedicated and superb in their profession. Nobody says it's pretty here. Nobody says it's easy either. What it is decisive. And if you pay attention to the street plans, all laid out, the city can't hurt you.
That's kind of wild. I like it. I like the dark, ominous tone over this poem that is also in itself a little dark, a little ominous. Let's read the about section here. Just get an idea of what's going on here. Hanif reads Toni, opens the album and sets the tone as poetic and critic. Hanif, I can't pronounce this, reads an excerpt from Jazz in which Morrison masterfully details the sorrow and optimism that comes with being black and living in a major metropolis. As an ominous ambient Sith motif proceeds behind him, Hanif closes the piece with the final word. Nobody says it's pretty. Nobody says it's easy either. Okay, well, that's just a description, but it's not really an explanation. What is pretty ominous to it, to me, the sound, obviously, right? But you get this, alone, yes, but top-notch and indestructible, like the city in 1926 when all the wars are over and there will never be another one. The people down here in the shadow are happy about that. At last, everything is ahead. So that concept right there, clearly 1926 was not the end of all wars. Obviously, 1926 is an interesting time. I don't know what's specific about that year, but I'm thinking, the Great Depression and Dust Bowl, what have you. Obviously, World War II is coming. That's a big deal. But this idea of finally, all the bad things are behind us when clearly they're not. But of course, you won't know that until it actually happens. The smart ones say so. The smart ones say so. That is a great part right there. And people listening to them and reading what they write down agree. So the smart ones are telling everybody else, all the bad things behind us. At last, we can finally move forward. Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, when we all agree. Here comes the new, look out, there goes the sad stuff, the bad stuff, the things nobody could help stuff. The way everybody was then and there. Forget that. History is over, you all, and everything's ahead at last. And then it moves into, this idea of the ape, building new projects, blah, blah, blah. The A&P hires a colored clerk, You got talking about these, nobody wants to be in an emergency at Harlem Hospital, but if the Negro surgeon is visiting, pride cuts down the pain. So it's just like this idea of progress, right? Progress. But there's this massively ominous tone over it. And of course, I immediately jumped to World War II, but then you got to think of like the civil rights movements in the 60s. So all the bad stuff behind us, no, it's not. So that's Pretty incredible. That does set a fantastic tone. Now, track 2 is called Sun, I Rise. I know this song. I've heard this song before. Beautiful song. I love the chorus. Sun, and Angelica Garcia, her vocals in this are fucking fantastic. So let's drop into track 2, which is called Sun, I Rise. Cool start, though. Very cool start.
How I coulda underestimated, son. How I coulda been so blind from the light that it brung. Eyes once wide, now seem they white from the fun. Blindly staring at the beauty, whisper what I become. I'm feeling for that fleeting feeling of warmth. I ain't mad, she ain't shared, yeah, it's par for the course. All my niggas get their language directly from source. So we grip everything the light touch directly from porch. And pull it closer.
I love that right swell right there. It's so cool, man.
Where other sons exist. Bullet meant for the temple of Goliath, but David went mad with power. Now I'm here to kill the king that killed the giants. Oh, hell, the slingshot kid. Hope he survives my ass. Pray I don't love what I did. OG slapped the back of my head.
Good drum fill right there.
You only fall when you think you smarter than those shooting you down. I took my chain into my shirt. You niggas never finna catch me. 5 right behind me. Finna let them niggas pass. We move on how we do because tonight my end with lastly. Head out the window, I'm fucking yelling out.
This part is so great.
Sunna.
And I love those backing vocals right there. Great strings. This is a good song. I've always enjoyed this song. Really good one.
Yeah. Okay. I'm asking, please forgive for what I did when word was on my shoulders. We bent the block so many times, car almost flipped right over. Said I became a better liar as I've gotten older. Is it cause the tongue got sharper or cause my heart got colder?
Great line.
Look around and find out I'm walking with death. Right here in my dominant, but ain't afraid to use left. Yeah, my homie just passed away. I've made my niggas laugh today. I'm cool if for me, tomorrow isn't promised. I measure time by dirty braids and stretched out beaters. One serves as sundown, the other's a meter to measure wings on a boy who seem to be in the odds. Cause perils come easy if heralds fly too far away from their gods. Ecstatic others thought this fight was for them and found the curse of leaving earth as you was never locked in. Though a nigga fought from where he began, I tuck my chain into my shirt. You niggas never finna catch me. Baba right behind me, finna let them niggas pass. We move on how we do because tonight my young will lastly. Head out the window, you heard it before.
I love that. That's so good, man. Got like a harp floating around in there. It gets all warbly, kind of drifts out. Yeah. That song, hearing that after that poem, or that at least the excerpt from that poem, makes it a lot better. Because that opening track with that written or that spoken word, it does have that false hope, the dark, ominous, and then this feeds right into that concept, which starting out inside the dark, where the idea was, oh, all the bad things are behind us, but they're not. They're already not behind us. How could I underestimate sun? How could I be so blind? From the light that it brought, eyes once wide, now seemingly white from the fun. Blindly staring at the beauty whisper. I'm fiending for that fleeting feeling of warmth. I ain't mad, she ain't shared, yeah, it's par for the course. All my people get the language from the source, so we grip everything the light touched from the porch. Where was it? Bullet meant for the temple of Goliath, but David went mad with power. So this is David and Goliath, the Goliath being the giant. David kills him with the slingshot. Now I'm here to kill the king that killed the giants. So he's here to kill David. And that's a great metaphor. I don't really want to put into what the metaphor is about, but just the concept. You know, the person who stands up to the giant and is victorious and then becomes king, but then the king becomes mad with power, so now he's here to kill the king. All hail the slingshot kid. Hope he survives my ass. Pray I don't love what I did. That's an interesting line too. Pray I don't love what I did. Shouldn't take joy in having to do this thing of unseating. And again, we're sticking just with the metaphor idea, but unseating the king that has saved everybody else, but then gone mad with power, right? He said, stop fucking around. You only fall when you think you're smarter than those shooting you down. That's a great one too, man. Great line. And then verse 2 had some great shit right here. Said I became a better liar as I've gotten older. Is it because the tongue got sharper or because my heart got colder? That's a great bar. Great bar right there. Fuck around and find out I'm walking with death. Right hand my dominant, but I ain't afraid to use left. Good shit, man. And then this, you know, his buddy passes away. Made my friends laugh. Tomorrow is a promise. I measure time by dirty braids and stretched out beaters. One serves as a sundial, the other's a meter. That's fucking phenomenal too, man. Really good. Really good. All right. That was fun. It was fun to hear that song again. It's been a little while. I remembered the strings and the harp and the fucking the supporting vocals. Angelica Garcia, who sounds like an angel in that track, basically. Let's move on to track 3. Which is called Mezzanine Trippin. It's featuring Teller Banks and Alfred. Let's drop in track 3. Ooh. Heavier sound. Very heavy. Cool. Trippy. Haha. It sounds like a descent into madness. Trippy.
He said that gold look good on you now, but boy, that touch ain't free. So I tuck my chain into my shirt. You niggas not gon' catch me. God, mama, the plant you made afraid it once was withering. Now with fingers to the sun, my gold flex, they get to flickering. Hell, light from pendant piercing right through my shirt. Something pierced through my body. Pray this little angel gon' work. Free my nigga
cool.
Till his backwards and he lift out of that dirt. Them reviews is funny, little nigga. I'm laughing now, but it hurts. Fuck that. Put too hard to hear the choir singing. We did it before. Got no problem ripping off boys' wings. Wanna tip the mezzanine, gladly gift this curse, but it's costly. Cause now I can only dream of touch. Please get this pendant off me.
Interesting.
That's my cardigan, bitch.
I'm gonna pause real quick. So I think he was talking about this gold touch, right? He said that gold looked good on you now, but boy, that touch ain't free. It's got to be Midas, right? It's got to be a reference to Midas and the gold touch. That touch ain't free, so I tucked my chain in my shirt. You ain't gonna catch me. On God, mama, the plant you made me afraid it was once withering now. With fingers to the sun, my gold flecks, they get to flickering how? Light from pendant piercing right through my shirt. Something pierces my body. Pray this little angel gonna work. Free my friend till it's backwards, and he lift out of that dirt. Then reviews is funny. Laughing, but now it hurts. Fuck that. Worked too hard to hear the choir sing, and we did it before. Got no problem ripping off boys' wings. This is wild. I don't really fully understand, but there's like this feel. I've got like this feel for it, but let's keep rolling. Let's just keep rolling. Maybe it'll click in the second half.
Check it. I'm sinful, I swallow nut, thank God for the provision. The creature stays inside the cut, biopsies with incision. Diminishing bitches without a game remains my mission. I'm piping hot like all the pork I consume extra crispy. I'm from the islands where they used to eat dogs in the 60s. Raised by the minds of the gutters, my people's farmers and fishermen. Serrated baby born from war that bled way past the 80s. I'm so rough around the edges, I cannot give you the full story. But boy, you can stop the frontin', I know you like my style. Hi, my name is Freddy, I'm ready, it's been a while. Hop in while you can, we're kicking rap niggas out. Bucket full of crabs is the way that these niggas be. Witchcraft niggas want this, just one trick up my sleeve.
Trippy, man. Trippy. So he's got this line here. Hi, my name is Freddy. I'm ready. It's been a while. I'm just gonna... I have no idea where this album's gonna go, and it's not super long, so I don't expect a lot to develop, but you never know. We're gonna keep this idea of Freddy being a character in this little album, and obviously Freddy is aggressive and probably a little violent. Definitely dark. Definitely dark. I'm sinful. I swallow nut. This got an annotation. Relatable is all the annotation says. I love some of the shit that you find on Genius sometimes. Sometimes it's awful and sometimes it's hilarious. The creature stays inside the cut. Biopsies with incisions. Diminishing bitches without a game. Remains my mission. I'm piping hot like all the pork I consume extra crispy. And you could take that a certain way. Relatable to police, possibly. I'm from the island where they used to eat dogs in the 60s. Raised by the mind of the gutters, my people's farmers and fishermen serrate a baby born from war. The blood way past the 80s. I'm so rough around the edges, I cannot give you the full story. Huh. I don't really know what to make of this in terms of lyrics. I like the style. I like how it feels. That fucking super aggressive, gritty, grindy production that went with this. And then that layer over the vocals, that was fucking legit. But I can't sit here and pretend like I understand what it means. So let's move on to track 4, which is called Run, Run, Run. Here we go, track 4. Oh, interesting. Cool little shift there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Running from the guns breaks my heart if you decide to fly away now. Running from the guns, I am running from the guns.
I make the devil mad dancing with you. All the angels looking jealous cause your halo is hoops. Hovering over your shoulders, wings usually is folded. I'm not used to extending them to tell you the truth. Pull me off the wall, growing my roots, sheesh. What I'm running from, following suit. We needed more distance so they wouldn't pursue. Cause up here I'm making Icarus envious too. Of my souls and wings and freedoms. And the songs they'll sing when I see them. Moving on my own, put the dreaming aside. Everybody on the porch looked up to the sky. Friends getting mad, but before they knew, suddenly my niggas started lifting up too. Through the clouds, brown shoulders, broke right on through. With eyes watching God, my heart stays on. Running from the guns, point and shoot. We used to play up on the playground. Bang, bang. Running from the guns, who thought hardest part would be for me to stay down. Running from the guns breaks my heart if you decide to fly away now. Running from the guns, I am running from the guns. So this chorus, beautiful fucking chorus, great beat. Oh my God. I liked how it kind of started with just the piano bit, and there's a bit of an oddity to the beat, like a little bit of gaps, and then the drums came and filled in those gaps. That was fucking great. This chorus is kind of brilliant in the sense of, running from the guns, point and shoot. We used to play on the playground, right? Like all, kids running around playing guns, playing war. I got you. No, you missed me. Always that fight, right? Who would have thought hardest part would be for me to stay down, running from the guns? This is the part that I think is well done. Breaks my heart if you decide to fly away now. Like when somebody gets gunned down in the playground, and
angel wings ascend and stuff like that. I might be reaching on that. Maybe that's not what he's going for. Maybe that's not the intention. But, there's possibly a double meaning there. I make the devil mad dancing with you. All the angels looking jealous because your halo is hoops. Hovering over your shoulders, wings usually is folded. I'm not used to extending them to tell you the truth. Pull me off the wall, growing my roots. What I'm running from, following suit. We needed more distance so they wouldn't pursue, because up here I'm making Icarus envious too. This opening verse kind of feels like the idea I'm getting from this is maybe him rising up as an artist, like getting a little bit successful, kind of moving up, and then the second part I think feeds into it pretty well. Of my souls and wings and freedoms and the songs they'll sing when I see 'em, moving on my own, put the dreaming aside. Everyone on the porch looked up to the sky. Friends getting mad, but before they knew, suddenly my friends started lifting up too. Like, maybe they're getting a little jealous that he's doing well, that he's ascending, that he's getting some traction. But then all of a sudden, maybe that goes away because like, oh, no, y'all coming with me. Come on. We're all friends. We're going together. Through the clouds, brown shoulders broke right on through. With eyes watching God, my heart stays on. Beautiful fucking song. Let's finish this one up. This is fantastic.
Saw that boy, then I saw his souls, wondering what songs this canary holds. Glad he off the wall and his wings unfold. Whole block gon' cheer when he makes it home. Holding heavy hearts really makes it worse. Till we found the only way for us to lift this curse. If we run to a place where they know our worth. Son talk said it's not my last day on earth. Hurry up, it's across the ridge. My grandson wants to fly, so I scratch that itch. And if niggas cry,
great little bass line in there too.
That should imply that I'm in this bitch. Nice on the car hood, laid out, crucified, grew much more from the love that you provide. Standing on stage, hold back, both teary eyes, looking at my niggas like I'm glad all of you survived. We can make that work. No, you was tripping on being locked to the earth. Worry later, no time for us to focus on what's past tense. And besides, now Brahms getting over the fence. So lock both your hands, act like you been on sitting on fireworks. You know my kinfolk, 12 round the corner, they judging our sins. Ho, once your feet hit that gravel, nigga just run from the guns.
Wow. It's so full too. The sound is great.
Bang.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. Cool way to close it out too. Let's check out the second verse. I saw that boy, then I saw his soles, and like it's spelled soles of his feet. Wondering what songs this canary holds. And the use of the word canary is interesting because obviously it's a bird that sings, but then canaries were so often used in like coal mines, right? So like sacrificial. So that's kind of an interesting wordplay. If it's intentional, I'm assuming it's intentional. I think this guy writes. I think there's a lot of stuff that he's saying in here that is just right over my head that I don't get. I feel like there's a lot of intention here that I don't understand at all. There's a lot of associations I'm not making. Gliding off the wall and his wings unfold, and that line's interesting because in the previous verse, talking about pull me off the wall, growing my roots. And he was talking about, hovering over your shoulders, wings is usually folded. I'm not used to extending them to tell you the truth. So there's this thing of off the wall and wings unfolding. Whole block's going to cheer when he makes it home. Holding heavy hearts really makes it worse. Till we found the only way for us to lift this curse. If we run to a place where we know our worth. Sun Talk said, it's not my last day on earth. Hurry up, it's across the ridge. My gramps wants to fly, so I scratch that itch. And if people crying with their arms raised, that should imply that I'm in this bitch. So that's interesting. I think still this song is about him, his music reaching people, it doing well, him finding some success, realizing, no, I'm doing stuff that is I was gonna say worthy. That's not quite matters. Anyway, he's reaching people. If people are crying with their arms raised, obviously they're enjoying the music, right? If that's what this is about. I'm assuming so, but I could very easily be wrong on this. Nights on the car hood, laid out crucified, right? Just laying out on top of the car. Grew much more love from that. Grew much more from the love that you provide. Standing on stage, holding back, both teary eyes, looking at my people like I'm glad all of you survived. We make that work. So he's on stage, he's looking out, he sees his people, he sees his friends, I'm assuming, moved to tears by the fact that everybody's there, everybody's loving his music. Again, an assumption, but that's the impression I'm getting. Know you was tripping on being locked to earth, worry later. No time for us to focus on what's past tense. And this kind of plays into the opening spoken word bit, right? All the bad shit's behind us, which is somewhat ominous given the way that opening track was. And besides, our problem's getting over that fence. So lock both your hands, act like you've been known, setting off fireworks, you know my kinfolks. 12 round the corner, they judging our sin, so once your feet hit that gravel, just run. Oh, 12. So 12 must be police, I guess. But the other one was fuck 12, fuck 12, fuck 12. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's police, which makes sense. I don't know the reference for 12, but yeah, that was fucking cool. Great jam. Great jam. Running from the guns. You know what? Running from the guns. Now, if he's making a reference to the police, that could be that too. Running from the guns, running from the police. Let's move on. This is fucking killer. Track 5, it's called Live from the Kitchen Table, featuring Eyez Guevara. I don't know. Live from the Kitchen Table, track 5.
From the timeline when niggas don't die, the skyline just takes back our fables. Reporting to you live, sitting at Carrie Mae's kitchen table with my right hand placed on rifle, left hand gesturing about some fables. To a child who don't yet understand, I pray one day she able from the table where doing hair is still a crusade. And what's the point when they pop low? Boy wears fingers thick as pomade, I seen it. Should've took a route less scenic, but
great fucking jazz section.
Often want this something got you fiending. I'm a live from my mama's kitchen table where she pulls heartbreak to her chest and folds up cards to keep legs stable. Where the currency for meals is often the laughter that's exchanged in. I ain't seen you in a minute, so sorry, tears blur in your frame. Our line different, nothing missing. You ain't called, but we ain't tripping. Come in. Still remember the seat and treat the home just like the heart. Keep it warm and always beating it up. I'm not the one.
This all feels like live production. The music on this feels very much recorded live. The saxophone, the drums, the piano, everything. This all feels like it was played together as a band. It's fucking amazing. Since I paused, I guess we'll talk about lyrics real quick. Talking about, sitting at the table. Right hand's placed on a rifle. Left hand just learned about some fables. I pray one day she's able from the table. Well, doing heroin's still a crusade, and what's the point? When they pop little boy where his fingers stick his pomade. The way he writes is very interesting, but I also feel like there's just he's saying so much in a certain way that I don't understand it. Live from my mama's kitchen table where she pulls heartbreak to her chest and folds up cards to keep legs stable. That, they'll pull a heartbreak to her chest. I think of, embracing your kid. Maybe it breaks her heart for whatever it's going on. If you think about the previous track and maybe people getting fucking gunned down by cops, holding your child close, hoping it, your heartbreak, it doesn't happen to your own kid or anybody else's kid at all for that matter. And then the second line, and folds up cards to keep legs stable. I'm thinking, there's a wordplay there. I think card table. Obviously, you play cards on a card table, but when you fold up your cards, when you fold your hand, you give up. You give up, and if you're trying to keep your legs stable, meaning you don't want to collapse, and why would you collapse? Because your kid just gets killed by the cops or whatever. So then you give up, like the fight, I suppose. I don't know. But that's what it feels like. It feels like I don't want to lose my baby. You know, I don't want to lose my child to whatever violence is happening. So instead of fighting this fight that I feel is necessary, especially if you think in the context, remember the opening track, we're talking about 1926 and, you know, the worst is behind us, but clearly it's not. So if you think about civil rights movements and all this other shit, I could see a parent knowing this fight, it must be fought, but I'm going to give up because I can't even conceive the idea of losing my kid to this thing. And so I'm going to surrender my hand. I'm going to fold to keep my legs stable so I don't collapse. That's what I get from that. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I get from that. Let's keep rolling. That was a long pause. This is a great song. I love the music here. That saxophone's killer.
Nothing more ironic than bottle popping when Ken is breathing through a tube. Almost chalked the function when I got the news. How hypocritical would it be? Feeling guilt by the lack of connection and using that very reason to distance myself from blessings. So go, shawty, it's your birthday. Even on his worst days, giveth and he taketh. Either way, I got to see it through. Early memories of you, metal detectors. Pop staring off into space, cause it's mental contested. Years later, barging in, said your sentence was lowered. What should have been tears of joy seemed like an awkward moment. What should have been constant love was just the same as all else. Saw you occasionally, the same amount as it was in jail. So when I got that text message, as I sprayed my cologne, what should have been tears of pain was just staring at phone. Nobody knew the next step, I had to step up. Funny how the pain of my lover had taught me lessons. Damn. So I write this before my visit, that's if I can even visit, it's different. Usually the elders talk and I listen, won't be sure how to respond to his lack of response. Lack of that kitchen table slowly taking me away from mines.
God, this is so good right here. It's so good. Yeah, that's great. This second verse, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. So I think I was somewhere close to the mark in terms of, you know, maybe people getting killed and the heartbreak and legs stable and all this stuff. Because getting to the second verse, there's a lot going on here. Let's go through it. Nothing more iconic than bottle popping when kin is breathing through a tube. So you're drinking while they're hooked up to a machine breathing through a tube, right? Nothing more ironic. There is this kind of a sense of irony. You know, drinking alcohol to cope with the pain that you're experiencing because somebody else is near death. While they're struggling to stay alive, you're drinking something that, you know, is essentially going to kill you if you drink enough of it. Almost chalked the function when I got the news. How hypocritical would it be? Feeling guilt about the lack of connection and using that very reason to distance myself from blessings. So then you get into this go shorty, it's your birthday, even on his worst days, giveth and taketh away, or giveth and taketh. And that's got to be a reference to God, right? Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Either way, I got to see it through early memories of you, metal detectors. Pop staring off into space because his mental contested. Years later, barging in said your sentence was lowered. What should have been tears of joy seemed like an awkward moment. What should have been constant love was just the same as all lust. Saw you occasionally the same amount as it was in jail. So when I got that text message as I sprayed my cologne, what should have been tears of pain was just staring at phone. Nobody knew the next step. I had to step up. Funny how the pain of my lovin' had taught me lessons. So it's like his girlfriend or something getting out of jail. But even though she's out, he doesn't really see her that often. And even though he should be happy about it, he's not. I don't know. Nobody knew the next step. I had to step up. Funny how the pain. So I write this before my visit. That's if I can even visit. It's different. Usually the elders talk and I listen. Won't be sure how to respond to his lack of response. Lack of that kitchen table slowly taking away from mine. And so he's going to go see, I think he's going to go see this girl in the hospital, even though they're not super close. Maybe she used to come by the house. You know, it's live from my mama's kitchen table. I'm not the one. I don't know. Interesting. Very fucking interesting. I think it's probably pretty personal. There's a lot. I think that obviously, you know, Mckinley Dixon, he's got to be writing about an experience here. And so, you know, this might come as a shock. Some of you, I wasn't there. I don't know all the details. Well written though. Well, I like his style. It's esoteric and it's hard to decipher, but you can also tell just how it's written. It feels very personal, which I like because, you know, I love it when an artist will express emotion and kind of work through their own things. But sometimes it's a lot to ask an artist or maybe expect an artist to just dump everything out so the whole world knows what happens, right? And that's not necessary. You can write in a way that is both cathartic to your feelings and processes your feelings, but also doesn't just give away every single secret in your life, you know? So I feel like this is an excellent execution of that idea. Gonna work through this, gonna process this, gonna express this and reveal it. And I think the people who are aware of whatever situation this is surrounding understand this. But then the rest of us can kind of, you know, stroke our beards and be a little befuddled by what's going on. And that's okay too, because we don't need to know everything about his life. That's his business. Track 6 is called Tyler Forever. I am also familiar with this track. I've heard this one before a couple times, although it's been a while, so I don't remember it. I probably will remember it as soon as we drop in. So here we go. Track 6, Tyler Forever. Yeah, I kind of remember this. Yeah. This is a good song. I remember this one being a good one too.
Bubble jackets, pockets filled with packets. Nigga gon' just ask for me. Ain't seen grams in a minute. I'm feeling lack of that apathy. Niggas thinking that they passing me. Ain't for y'all niggas actually. I'm doing this so I'll blow my shit out all over that balcony.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now the chorus and cover, I'm making sure niggas remember it's Tyler Forever. Tyler Forever. Tyler Forever. It's Tyler Forever. Mama said this lifestyle should have been outgrown. Well, mama, you don't see the beauty that this heroin holds. Surrounded by, I love my niggas. Why I feel so alone, that black range will skip puddles. We some dangerous stones, propelled forward by vengeance. Pension for taking your penance. Accountability processes loaded in them extensions. We done fixed on ascending. My boys might break through the roof. Y'all become killers all of a sudden when you find us loose. Nigga, problem with this preaching is it might just make my wrist hot. 9 niggas messed up in that van, them boys slip not. They kids up in the hood is baby metal. Head banging on your boy, he push that overdrive pedal. Watch your step, nigga.
It always blows me away how heavy this chorus is.
Nah, the chorus and cover, I'm making sure niggas remember it's Tyler Forever. Tyler Forever. Tyler Forever. It's Tyler for, oh shit.
And then he calms down.
Settle down.
Just gonna let it roll. I've been living my life with concrete to my ears. Nowadays ain't no niggas I fear. Anything I've learned in all of my years. The danger to talk when you banish your tears. You hear me now, I brought all my singers. Mama don't want what the pain gon' bring us. Fighting the battle with skin on my fingers. Biting Great
off,
flow.
but the pain still lingers.
Great fucking flow,
all that good as ain't gold. You can still hobble pieces to make something that holds. A youngin' blind from staring at my mom's glow. Now these white eyes can't seem to die. She's sending her blows. It's murder music for niggas who ain't been murdered. I'm sure if he was here now, now he'd say that that's just unheard of. I laugh, say yeah, you right, it's probably true. Then sitting on his quad, realize poets lie too. How you parallel the hell that comes with writing stories to the tales of triumph, flight, and even oftentimes glory. Cause I know all them niggas mentioned in all of them things, but I'ma close my eyes for a bit. Can you just read it for me?
Huh. Fucking amazing. Yeah. Amazing. I forgot how good that one was. Sun I Rise, I remembered. I would listen to it every now and then. I forgot the beat flip and how it goes from that heavy Tyler Forever to that fucking slower side, the more emotional side. Mama said this lifestyle should have been outgrown. Well, Mama, you don't see the beauty that this harrowing hold. That right there is kind of interesting. You know, you could almost bring it down to like thrill seeking, you know, adrenaline junkie type of a deal. The beauty, the harrowing. Sometimes that intensity is just very enticing, right? That's why, you know, all these different sports. I love motocross. I ride pretty regular. Not right now because it's summertime, but it's fun. And every now and then I'll be doing some shit. I'm like, oh, that's a lot of rock right there. Don't fuck up. That's going to hurt. You're old now. Surrounded by all my people, why I feel so alone. That black range wheel skip puddles with some dangerous stones. I love that line. Black range wheel skip puddles. You know, skipping stones over the water. And this is just kind of a play on that. Propelled forward by vengeance, panache for taking your pendants. Accountability processes loaded them in extensions. We done fixed on ascending. My boys might break through the roof. They'll become killers all of a sudden when you find Dusty Hoops. The problem with this preaching is it might just make my wrist hot. 9 people masked up in that van. Them boys Slipknot. So Slipknot's a heavy metal band. There's a lot of guys in Slipknot. So I think that's a play on that. But I also feel like it might be a play on a rope too, but it's capitalized. It's got to be off of the band, right? I don't know. It's got to be off of it because it's pretty heavy too. It's pretty heavy. And there's a lot of members in Slipknot. I don't know how many. There might be 9. The Kids Up in the Hood is Baby Metal. Baby Metal is another crazy metal band. I'm not really into them, but I have seen them play once. They're at a festival I went to. It was cool. Tyler Forever. And then it turns. It slows down. I've been living my life with concrete to my ears. Nowadays, ain't nobody I fear. Anything I've learned in all my years, there's dangers to talk when you're about to shed tear. There's danger to talk when you're about to shed tears. I think the way I take that is it's don't say things out loud when you're in a very emotional, reactive state. Like that's dangerous. You'll say some shit that's going to get you in trouble. You're going to say some shit that might, you know, maybe you don't mean it, etc. In association with vengeance. Vengeance. Keep that in mind. Vengeance. Because that was the first verse, right? Right? Where was vengeance? Right there. Propelled forward by vengeance. So there's vengeance in the mind. But if you're in an emotional state, don't want to speak on vengeance. You hear me now? I brought all my singers. Mama done warned what the pain gonna bring us. Fighting a battle with skin on my fingers. Bite it off, but the pain still lingers. All that glitters ain't gold, but you can still hobble pieces to make something that holds. Young and blind from staring at my mom's glow. Now these wide eyes can't seem to dodge. She's sending her blows. So this, I feel like what's going on here is he has in vengeance with on the verge of tears has said something that, you know, maybe he told his mother about it or something like that, you know, and he's young and blind from staring at her glow, like just loving his mother, and he's telling her whatever, you know, this vengeance is on his mind or something like that. And I'm trying to relate multiple things from different songs too, you know, talking about, you know, the previous track, I think it was Run, you know, holding your heartbreak close to your chest and folding your hand so the card table legs, I can't remember the fucking verse, but basically here's him telling his mother this thing. I'm assuming this is all fucking me reaching, right? I could be way off. And so her perspective of her son, someone she loves, someone who her heart would break if she lost him, hears him saying this thing with vengeance and tears in his eyes, and now she's fucking wailing on him, right? Now these white eyes can't seem to dodge. She's sending her blows. She's whooping him. Don't you dare say that. Don't you dare go do that. Don't you dare. Whatever it is, right? It's murder music for people who ain't been murdered. I'm sure if he was here right now, he'd say that shit's unheard of if he was here. So somebody's been killed. He's out for vengeance. I assume. I'd laugh, say, yeah, you're right, it's probably true. Then sitting on his floor, I'd realize poets lie too. So the lie is that shit's unheard of. What being unheard of? Music for people who ain't been murdered. Although, well, I just confused myself right there. Anyway, let's just move on rather than getting stuck in my own confusion. How you parallel the hell that comes with writing stories to the tales of triumph, flight, and even oftentimes glory, because I know all them people mentioned and all them things, but I'm going to close my eyes for a bit. Can you just read it for me? Again, I feel like this is a great example of him writing well in a way that is processing whatever is on his mind, but keeping it mysterious enough so that us, the listener, doesn't really know what's going on. Well done, though. This is fucking fantastic. I'm glad I sat down with this. Track 7 is called Dedicated to Tarfeather, featuring Angemile. Angemile? I think I pronounced it wrong. Well, no surprises there. I pronounced everything wrong. All right, track 7, Dedicated to Tarfeather. I love that they're using strings so often in this album.
I never thought this gift would make me feel bad. It seems the weight of this crown has now driven King mad. So he sits up in his castle with the door to his back, ripping gold, flickering flesh off his finger pads. I just wanna touch again, wish the feeling remain. Wasted this life rapping, hope it all wasn't in vain. I take a walk through the garden, flowers don't know my name, but they still listen. I think I like it like that. A shaky hand sweeps the table of the crumbs, while a little boy hopes someday he'll get closer to the ones that set off explosive tongues. So one get killed last summer, he lifted his head, but the flies escaped his mouth from out his lungs. Journal entries from when the heat had us buzzing. Found out one boy was superhuman, the other simply wasn't. One more hug, promise then I'll leave you alone. This life was fun for a minute, but it never was home.
To talk to you, I listen more. To talk to you, I kiss the floor. I'm good, I'm gold, I'm good, I'm gold, I'm good, I'm gold. I feel your kiss, feel the way you moving now. White feet for you, step.
This is beautiful. God, this is beautiful.
Nobody says it's pretty here. Nobody says it's easy either.
So this is from the spoken word, the opening track.
What it is decisive. And if you pay attention to the street plans, all laid out, the city can't hurt it.
Your shoes was hard to keep the size filled, and recently my only dreams is that a nigga die real. Cool clipping up the clouds, me and my homie ride still. Fade that boy outside, then fader go and ask me how I feel. Trembles, but his feet point left and right, he with that racket. Fighting coming second nature, tearing up his automatic. Heels lifting off the ground, eyes wide from the sight. Grab my face, said we can live forever if we die tonight. Fuck what I learned from grandma's closet or a coffin. They saw me on my bike and remembered it for when they walking. Toni said I didn't fall in love, I was raised in it. If that's true, why I got that text and wasn't phased with it. Oh man, another one so damn tragic. Shoulder tap, staring off while the music's cinematic. Who knew a plan that made me and my niggas so ecstatic? Will make my mama make his mama turn us both nomadic, if only for the night.
Interesting. So there's lots of I'm noticing that there's the way these lyrics are written, there's lots of references to other songs in this album. Let's get into this. My poor brain is working overtime right now. Never thought this gift would make me feel bad. It seems like the weight of this crown has now driven King mad. So we got to think of earlier. He was going to go kill David, who killed Goliath, because David had become mad, right? And he was praying he doesn't find love in that, Remember that. That was earlier. It seems the weight of, so he does that. It seems the weight of this crown has now driven King mad. I never thought this gift would make me feel bad. It seems the weight of this crown has now driven King mad. Maybe he hasn't killed the king yet. I don't know. I don't know. But let's keep... these concepts are linked. These are all linked to each other. So he sits up in his castle with the door to his back, ripping gold flickering flesh off his finger pads. Remember the golden touch. Talking about the golden touch. That was something else that had come up. So there's links here. Humming, I just want to touch again, wishing the feeling remained. Wasted this life rapping, hope it all wasn't in vain. I take a walk through the garden. Flowers don't know my name, but they listen. I think I like it like that. I like that's cool. So I feel like, well, whatever, because I was just gonna make a weird guess assumption. A shaky hand sweeps the table of the crumbs. Remember, live from the kitchen table. So this is another element. While a little boy hopes someday he'll get closer to the ones that set off explosive tongues. So I think this is him dreaming of being a rapper, being inspired by rappers. This was saw one get killed last summer. He lifted his head. Butterflies escaped his mouth from out his lungs. This is a reach. I'm going to make a reach right here. Saw one get killed last summer. Actually, no. I was going to make an association to Pimp a Butterfly, but I don't think that was going to be a hell of a reach, right? Just the idea of seeing Pac die. No, because he's probably younger than I am. Anyway, that's now let's just dump that. Let's just dump that. I'm just jumping on that because of butterflies. So there's probably just no association. Thinking of maybe there's just a person that got killed. You know, the previous track was talking about that. He lifts his head. Butterflies escaped his mouth from out his lungs. Journal entries from where the heat had us buzzing. Found out one boy was superhuman. The other simply wasn't. One more hug, promised, and I'll leave you alone. This life was fun for a minute, but it never was home. Talk to you, I listen more. Talk to you, I kiss the floor. On God, on gold. I feel your kiss. Feel the way you're moving now. Wipe feet for your step in mama's house. Again, esoteric, but there's definitely a story here, obviously. Nobody says, and we got that written word. It's kind of the second bit. Shoes was hard to keep the size filled. So it's hard to fill somebody else's shoes. So this person that's gone, it's hard to fill that person's shoes. And recently, my only dream is that person die real. So I don't know. Coop clipping up the clouds. Me and my homie ride still. Fade that boy outside. The fader go and ask me how I feel. Trembles, but his feet point left and right. He with that racket. Fighting comes a second nature, tearing up his automatic. Heels lifted on the ground, eyes wide from sight. Grabbed my face, said we can live forever if we die tonight. I wonder if this is going back to the vengeance thing. I wonder if it's like if they're planning a hit on somebody. They're trying to take revenge for a buddy that got killed, and let's go do it. And if we die tonight, we'll live forever. Type of, that was the Kendrick thing. The person, behind the gun, the shooter, I forget how it goes. Off Good Kid, Mad City, but basically, the one behind the gun, Anyway, the person who gets killed lives forever. Even though I can't sort it out in my mind to save my life right now. The one behind the gun lives forever. That whole thing, that was off of Good Kid, Mad City. So I wonder if that's a reference there. What I learned from Grandma's closet or coffin. They saw me on my bike and remembered it for when they walk in. Toni said I didn't fall in love. I was raised in it. If that's true, why I got that text, I wasn't phased in it. So this is a reference back to the person who was going to get out of prison. And, for good behavior, they're getting out early, and he wasn't moved by it. He wasn't, excited. Oh, man, another one so damn tragic. Shoulder tap, staring off while the music's cinematic. Who knew a plan that made me and my people so ecstatic would make my mama make his mama turn us both nomadic, if only for the night. So a plan that made me and my buddies so ecstatic, I am assuming this revenge plan, is making their mothers throw them out. No. Get out. Don't do it. No, I won't have anything to do with it type of a thing. I don't know. Great song. I feel like I'm butchering everything that it's about, but I'm also doing my best. Let's move into the story so far, which is the interlude. It's a minute long. Maybe there's going to give us like a refresher, like a little update for idiots like me. I have no idea. Like, we're way off the trail, right? But let's jump in. Let's take a listen. Oh, it's just an instrumental. There will be no insight here. Beautiful. Oh, wow. Wow. You know, it almost sounds like almost like a calm before the storm. That's the idea I get there. I don't know. Let's move on to track 9, which is the story so far. A couple lyrics are missing according to the genius here. It's not all filled in, but let's drop in. And it's featuring Sea Lion Eyez. Track 9, the story so far.
Trying to escape this bodega with no avail. The corner store committing robbery, ripping me off, making this agave passion fruit for sale. Tried to fight it, but to no avail. Gyps here are probably stale. Yet I'm with it, I'm high and I'm hungry. I see a sign and it's hung above me. It said, what does your life entail? Damn. My mom's hasn't heard from me in a while. And my pops even longer. Need to speak to his daughter and see how she's doing. Scary world for a little melanin girl. It truly is. I need to call you too. I know you missing me. Exit the store, cover my eyes. The sun's hitting me, but I have never seen the sky so differently. Until the day that you died. Until the day that you died. Until the day that you, yeah. I do this till the day that I die. My nigga cringe when he hear fireworks in July. You ain't need to know why. I just hope he recover. His mother miss him and I miss him too. I hope he play this and he thinks of all the things he's been through. But if he doesn't, I wasn't the type to stop him from getting money. My cousin's is hungry. He hustling for they tummies. Is he wrong? Dear God,
great beat. That fucking drum sound in there was fantastic.
I wanna be a reverend. Pops clipped in 7-Eleven. He asking his moms, is daddy gonna go to heaven? Is he wrong? Dear God, is he wrong? Yeah.
One step at a time.
So I'll pause right here. This is the end of the lyrics on Genius. There's still about a minute and a half left. I think we got some answers to some questions here. Yo, he's at the store. They're ripping him off. They're committing robbery. Making this agave passion fruit for sale. Tried to find it, but no avail. So he had to buy that because it was on sale. You know, chips are here. They're stale, but I'm hungry, whatever. It's a sign. What does your life entail? Mom hasn't heard from me in a while. Pops even longer. I need to speak to his daughter and see how she's doing. Interesting phrasing there. His daughter. Could be his sister, could be his stepsister. But I am assuming, based off of other elements from the album, this was the girl who was in jail that got out early. That's who this is. Because it keeps going in. Scary world for a little melon girl. It truly is. I need to call you too. I know you're missing me. But remember, he had the phone, didn't have any excitement, and didn't really do anything with it. You know, why didn't he reply to the text that was earlier? The sun's hitting me, but I've never seen the sky so differently until the day you died. I do this till the day that I die. My people cringe, so it's not my people on this one. It's my friend cringe when he hears fireworks in July. You ain't need to know why. I just hope he recovers. So he's probably cringing from fireworks sounds because it sounds like gunshots because he probably got shot up. His mother missed him and I miss him too. I hope he play this and he thinks of all the things we've been through. But if he doesn't, I wasn't the type to stop him from getting money. His cousin is hungry. I wonder if this was the person, you know, with all excitement and the white in his eyes and his automatics going off. You know, fuck it, if we die tonight, we'll live forever. I think that was dedicated to Tarfeather. My cousin is hungry. He's hustling for their tummies. Is he wrong? Dear God, is he wrong? Which is a fantastic question, right? We're all told it's so awful to go through these things, but if you're doing it to literally feed yourself, you know? I mean, that's an interesting moral question, in my opinion. Son wannabe Reverend Pops clipped in 7-Eleven. He asking his mom's daddy going to go to heaven. Is he wrong? Dear God. Is he wrong? That's a great close. All right, let's finish this out. Let's see. I don't know. So it says there's missing lyrics. It sounds like there's some spoken word. Maybe the missing lyrics are what is spoken for the second half of this song.
Two-step at a time. Walking through the stress of this life made me sharper than a knife. Money getting tight like depression, the cost of living life. And if it's out of sight, pay attention or later pay the price. It's always mind over matter, my nigga. Get it right, no. Nothing that's worth it comes easy. I'm steady pacing my toes. But I can't follow the sequence, can't go the yellow brick road. I thought I lost all the meaning when daddy passed up the hoe. You know, we rose from the semen and built foundations with soul. Yeah, it's like that. You know, they make it hard for us. I come for what they fight back. I got the spirit of the tough, I'm covered, keep me guided. I'm never blinded, 20/20 vision on my iris. See, we can't settle for less. And being solid don't mean built for the test. Just hold on to your integrity, gotta breathe through the stress. Or maybe side because we deep in the stretch. Been placing bets on my guidance, this passion beat through my chest. We're from the wise, there ain't no need breaking sweat. Got the supplies if you choose them right, ain't no need to digress. So pick a side.
So you decide pick a side.
Yeah, when will you ride? So can we ride?
Oh, interesting. Pick a side. Can we ride?
Beloved. Paradise. Jazz.
So, again, total guess on my part, but here's what I'm wondering. I wonder if she was in prison because she sought vengeance for this other person that got killed. And so that whole section, you know, she was saying a lot there. I was catching most of it, but again, you know, there's a lot of words coming out, and it's been 30 seconds, so of course I've already forgot half of it, right? But that end, you got to pick a side. So can we ride? You got to pick a side, decide, can we ride? I wonder if it's this whole idea of her seeking vengeance. I wonder if him, with vengeance and tears in his eyes, telling his mom about what stepsister was going to go do. And his mom saying, no, you fucking don't. Maybe, I don't know. A couple characters in this album. There's one track left. This is fucking phenomenal ride. Phenomenal. It's called Beloved Paradise Jazz, which is the title track. It's featuring Miss Jalen Brown, produced by Mckinley, Dixon, and Sam Koff. Let's see how this wraps up. This has been a fantastic experience. Cool opener right here. I like this quite a bit. Hell yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Keep my braids. Braids for the summer, I'm less likely to falter. Gold fingertips rusted, now the color has altered. Deny food from the hand, matriarchs insulted. The house is crumbling, hurry out the back door bolting. The rubble recently reset my bones. Black-skinned concrete within it, I feel at home. Surrounded by all my niggas, it's a feeling I missed. I was once nothing and then suddenly I was fifth. One filled with so much heat, pray some before I hit the street. Cause if I loosen grip a little, results finna be bleak. Oh well, light escaping, trying to grab it at the wrist. I was once nothing, then a heart sprang up from the fist. Hellish and unkept lungs filled with ragged breath. Open mouth to speak, pop that boy for he could step. Cause if the heart pulls the rest up at the seams, then that fist gon' grip something that could tip the balance beam for his.
Fucking great bass line right there. Saxophone's back. Oh, this is fantastic. hand drums in there. Oh my god.
Cracks to both sides of my eyes. My gum still black. How else you tell that I lie? Showing off my canines, glow too bright for the reverend. And though they all go, me and dog might see different heavens. Time alone has never once been a crutch. The worst thing for a god is you realizing they can be touched. Saw me aiming at the heavens, sun can't give me a kiss. Cause black of the berry, less likely when he shoot, he gon' miss. Wake up, held you in my arms, I barely felt the beating. This aside of my heart, I ain't really shown too many seasons. Running up the stairs, trying to catch you right before you leaving. I ain't make it, I guess it all gon' happen for a reason. As I stand up on the balcony and look to the ground. Money kept me moving, but the heart wasn't found. When I was standing on the edge about to fall off that cliff, what kept me on was looking up and seeing my hand in your grip, my
beloved. Paradise just, yeah. Beloved, paradise just.
Wow, man. Wow. Wow.
Beloved, paradise.
Holy shit, man. This is incredible. I kind of got a little bit of goosebumps. Just a little bit right there. This is incredible. I'm getting a little better at not pausing, but now we're going to go through every single fucking line. This is how it's going to go. Just how it's going to go. Braids for the summer, I'm less likely to falter. Gold fingertips rusted. Now the color has altered. Remember braids, what was it? Braids and beaters. Or was it measure? Like one was the sundial, or one was the meter for time, for passing time. Braids for the summer, I'm less likely to fall. So there's lots of elements that are persisting through this album, and I feel like we need like a dissect episode of this album. Somebody get a hold of Dissect, whoever. I don't know who that is, but the podcast guy. But I don't know who the person is. Somebody get a hold of Dissect. Tell them to do this fucking album and piece it all together. The gold fingertips are rusted, so the golden touch is gone. It's gone. The rusted. Deny food from the hand. Matriarch is insulted. Mother, right? Deny food from the... So mom's trying to give him food. Denied. Made mom's upset. The house is crumbling. Hurry out the back door, bolting. The rubble recently reset my bones. Black skin to concrete. Within it, I feel at home. So I don't know what the hell that means. Black skin to concrete. The only thing I can think of is he's on the ground. Maybe the cops have got him. He's on the ground. He's being pressed to the ground. He's on the concrete, but he feels at home that way. Surrounded by all my people. It's a feeling I missed. I was once nothing, and then suddenly I was fixed. One filled with so much heat. Praise sun before I hit the street. Sun I Rise is another track. So there's a reference here that's existing. Because if I loosen grip a little, results finna be bleak. Oh well, light escaping. Trying to grab it at the wrist. I was once nothing, then a heart sprang out from the fist. Remember the golden touch and the light that was, it was flickering through off the chain, through the t-shirt. That light is now escaping. I was once nothing, then a heart sprang out from the fist. Hellish and unkept lungs filled with ragged breath, open mouth to speak, pop that boy before he can step. Because if the heart pulls the rest up at the seams, then that fist's going to grab something that could tip the balance beam for his. So I don't really know what's going on there. I don't know. Let's keep on. Sun lends cracks to both sides of my eyes. My gum's still black. How else you tell that I lie? Showing off my canines glow too bright for the reverend. And though they all go, me and dog might see different heavens. So all dogs go to heaven, right? What is that, like a Disney movie or something? Talking about, showing off my canines. They glow too bright for the Reverend. It's almost like he's yelling at the Reverend. He's mad at the Reverend, showing off his canines, barking at him, yelling at him. Time alone has never once been a crutch. The worst thing for a god is you realizing they can be touched. Saw me aiming at the heavens. Sun can't give me a kiss because blacker the berry, less likely when he shoot, he gonna miss. So blacker the berry off of To Pimp a Butterfly. So I wonder if that other line, when the butterfly is sprung forth from his lungs, I wonder if there's maybe it's just a wordplay that's associating with To Pimp a Butterfly and not necessarily a reference to it, just wordplay. Wake up. Held you with my arms. I barely felt the beating. So I think whoever got killed, I think he was there and he held them. Because that was in another track already that I'm confusing. This is a side of my heart I ain't really shown too many seasons. So this is not something that he talks about. And even still in this album, even though he is talking about it, and I think he's doing it well to express his own emotions, he is doing it also a good job of keeping it coded. Running up those stairs, trying to catch you right before you leave. And so this person dies. He's holding them in his arms. This person dies, his buddy. It's probably the same person that he's barking at to the Reverend, He's running up the stairs trying to catch you, right? The ascension of the angel, the spirit, whatever you want to call it, to heaven. I ain't make it. I guess it's all going to happen for a reason. I stand on the balcony and look to the ground. Money kept me moving, but the heart wasn't found. When I was standing on the edge about to fall off that cliff, what kept me on was looking up and seeing my hand in your grip. And so now I want to go back and listen to Sun I Rise again, because there's probably more references in there that make all of this make sense. Basically, he was going to throw himself off the building because this person died. I don't know. That was a great fucking experience, though. Holy shit, man. I apologize. I'm going to try and post this uncut. Maybe because it's a smaller artist, I can post this uncut on YouTube. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe I can, and maybe it'll just get blocked a week later or something. But what an experience. Really, really well written. Amazing production. Good rapping. Great flow. Great fucking music. The supporting vocalists that were in there were beautiful. I mean, this is a beautiful project. Beautiful project. And, I want to say if Mckinley Dixon ever sees this, he might not. Who fucking knows? But anybody who's watching this who understands more of these lyrics than I do, please understand that this is just my experience with it. I'm half the time I'm just trying to make sense of it. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. And so I'm sure there's plenty of shit I got way wrong, or things that I missed, or references I didn't understand, or whatever. But God, that was incredible. Man, really fucking good. I'm so glad I sat down. Old Head, if you're still listening, if you're still watching. So Old Head is a good member inside of the Discord server. He's really cool. And he himself has been a little funny because he's got certain genres of hip hop that he really enjoys. And I haven't been doing a lot of those albums lately. So he's just been like patiently waiting for stupid Baldy, as he calls me, to get to some good music, of course, right? And so he was one of the people saying, hey, you should do this to wrap up the Buog with. Come full circle on it. I'm really glad I did. Great suggestion. Incredible album. Fucking incredible album. I'm going to be listening to this quite a bit. I don't think I'm going to do a review. Here's what I'll do. If I can leave this posted up on YouTube uncut, I'll just do that. And I won't worry about an album review. Because, with Anthony Fantano doing the review recently, I think a lot of people will just watch that. He does a great job at reviews anyway, in my opinion. Regardless of what you think of his opinion, if you like the album more or less, how he does reviews, I think he does really well. I honestly got a lot of respect for Fantano. I don't always agree with him. I think him and I enjoy music in very different ways. But he's been doing this shit for over 10 years. He knows what he's doing. He does a good job of it. There you go. So if I can leave this uncut on YouTube, probably won't do a review for it. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe after listening to this multiple times, I'll want to do a review. I don't know. Whatever. but fucking amazing. God. Just the production elements add so much to it. And the way it's written, each song has its own elements that kind of spill over into other songs. And so all this shit is linked up together to create this one full story that is still a little esoteric, still a little bit mysterious, hard to kind of piece together. But goddamn, I mean, I really feel like if the Dissect podcast could get on this, he would just have a fucking field day. Like, he would be so excited, have so much fun. And you can tell no one's really gone through this. There's hardly any annotations on any of these songs. So nobody's really tried to pull this apart. So it's still a fresh puzzle to solve. That was fun. That was really fun. Goddamn. McKinley Dixon, man, I hope you just, well, I hope you get whatever you're wanting from this. I mean, I was going to say, I hope you just blow up, become this big, massive superstar, but maybe he doesn't want that. I sure as hell wouldn't want that. I mean, the money's nice, sure, but I don't think the money is worth everything else. Because everything else, to me, all that fame and all that bullshit, just a headache. But goddamn, people need to hear this. This is a fantastic album. Fantastic album. All right, I'm just going to go walk in circles in the kitchen and say that to myself over and over again. Great ride. Great ride. All right, guys, we'll see you.